To another NBA star, Carmelo Anthony, after more police shootings of African Americans and a deadly reprisal against police last week. Anthony used Instagram to call for action from athletes, saying, quote, "We have to step up and take charge." Jason, what's your reaction to Anthony's post?
Listen, I have ridiculed Carmelo Anthony for a number of things. This is something I will not ridicule. This was awesome. That letter he wrote on Instagram was one of the best things I've ever heard an athlete say. He wasn't talking about cheap, easy social media solutions. He was talking about, listen, we have to approach these problems together. And the message I heard from him, together, means all of us together, not just black people, not just white people. We have to approach these problems together and strategically, and not just look for quick protests or hashtags or resorting to violence of killing police officers and things like that. And so and he admitted he doesn't know the solution, but I want to tell him the solution in terms of what athletes need to do, particularly black athletes. Everybody wants to follow the Muhammad Ali model and be outspoken, or John Carlos and Tommy Smith and raise a fist. That's not the model for millionaire athletes. That's the model for poor athletes or working class athletes from the 1960s. Carmelo Anthony and all these athletes need to use their wealth and invest in some of these inner city communities and really get involved, not just symbolic gestures.
I agree for the most part. I think I'm always cautious when asking people to do things they're not comfortable with. You can talk politics. Most sports columnists, I'm not interested in their opinion, and a lot of times it would be over their head. There'll be times I will and times I won't. I think individually, I am reluctant to ask athletes to do anything they're uncomfortable with. But I do think we put pressure on CEOs. We put pressure on people of great wealth to make a difference. It is time, when Giancarlo Stanton signs a $325 million contract, or anybody else north of 70 to 100 million, it is time to use that wealth and that power for things beyond personal entertainment. And that's where I think Carmelo hits a chord. You are now even by America's richest standards, we have Derek Jeter that's living in a palace that's better than the Yankee owners. It's time for all athletes to use their wealth, name, and power. You know, they're our royal family. My mom was British. Our royal family is a shooting guard. In Britain, it was the Queen. And I think there's almost an obligation when you have that kind of wealth and power to help others.
Our royal family is actually a power forward in Cleveland, LeBron James, and that's who's responsible for Carmelo's very intelligent take on this. LeBron James has set a standard that other athletes are starting to follow. He's invested in Akron and Cleveland.